Because reading is what?
Fundamental.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Do You Read BTS? I'm Lisa.
And I'm Zay. Welcome back, guys. We know we missed the week, but we're back and we're here with another story. It is a JK story. We'll actually be doing another one soon, but this one is called Kink School, and it's by BeyondTheSmuts on Wattpad.
Right. And this story is about a girl that, and guys, this is an AU. So we don't do a lot of AUs, but we have before, like in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But in case you guys don't know, I think it's called the alternative universe, which means that it's not real, but in this universe, it's real. So it was about this girl that was going to college, but the college of her choice was Kink School. So you guys all know what a kink is if you listen to us before, because we talk about kinks a lot. And so she decided to go to this Kink School, and she decided that she was going to take was it submission?
Yeah, so one of the things about the reason why there even is a Kink School is because it wanted to provide the education. I'm just going to read it. That provided the education to those of legal age so that they would be qualified in a specific kink without having a certificate for that kink. The person may not legally enter that type of relationship with anyone. And it was just to protect both parties in the relationships and to avoid people from underage from entering into things that they should not. So she ended up deciding to do submission, but I think she was kind of going back and forth at the very beginning, but then landed on submission. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So she decided she was going to get into submission. She knew a little bit about it, but not a lot. And so she goes there. She goes to school, and the first person she meets is Park Jimin. So in my head, girl, Park Jimin was looking so good.
Right? Right?
Like he was looking like a real daddy up in my head anyway.
Girl, the things that he was saying to her, I was like, oh, this story about to be wild.
All right, can't you just see Jimin little smirk though? You know he got that little smirk about him. So anyway, she met Park Jimin, and they kind of got along really, really fast. He ended up walking. Did she meet him? Wait, did she meet him like on her first day of school?
Yeah, she was trying to find the room where her room was going to be. And he ended up taking her around.
Right. So he did that and then ended up showing her to her room and then said, by the way, be ready in the morning because I'm taking you to her class. She was like, oh, no, you don't have to do that. I'm good. He was like, what'd I say?
Yeah, he said that wasn't a question, baby girl. I'll see you at 9 a.m. at the bottom of your building, girl. Be ready.
Right.
I ain't asking nothing.
Right. So we already knew what class he was in.
Exactly.
We knew what he was studying.
Right. And he was a second year. Jimin was a second year and the girl was a first year.
So she was like, well, okay. So the next morning, she got ready and she met Jimin, and then.
So after that, she met up with Jimin because she woke up late. I think she forgot to set her alarm or something like that. So she woke up late, was rushing, but she made it in just enough time. So he takes her to her first class, and she gets in there, and she's like kind of nervous, like what's going on? Like, what are we doing? Type of thing. Something I forgot to mention though. He told her to be ready. I think classes started at like 10. And he told her to be ready at 9 or whatever. And I guess when she got there, he was like, we don't have enough time. So we'll have to take you straight to the class or whatever. So she's just kind of like, all right, whatever. Oh yeah.
And then she asked, are you mad at me?
Yeah, and she was like, "Why are you angry?" And he was pretty much like, "You used the inappropriate language with me." This school, like, I know he was just another student, but like, they got on real fast. Like, look, we're throwing you into everything that you needed to right off the bat. Pretty much, he was
Off
telling
the
her he
bat.
wanted to get her ready for, for what was to come. But it was like, dang, like, can she acclimate to what's going on first?
Right? Can she get there? Can she
Right,
get there? Can she
right.
can she put her stuff down?
Okay, they was like, "Hey, welcome." Okay, so first things first, girl.
Right.
So he takes her to class, and she takes her seat or whatever. Her teacher, her professor, is
Mm,
none other than
mm.
Namjoon.
Yeah,
Sexy ass.
yeah. And you know he being a real daddy because that's just what he do.
And he teaching submission because he's a dom.
Yes.
Oof.
And he told her he into humiliation.
Yes.
Girl, that was new for me. I never heard that.
I
Like
had never either.
we
That
read a
was
lot of King stories, and so that was new to me. To see that, oh, that he was into humiliation. So I wonder, is that a real thing?
I don't know. I had not heard that before, but there's a lot of kings I don't know about, so that's not saying
That's
much.
true. It's a million thousand Kinks, girl.
hmm So they have their first lesson, which was in obedience. So
Mhm.
they have sub classes, dom classes, and each class like eventually ends up working together. But their first thing was in obedience. So
Mhm.
he has them like do an exercise at the beginning. And homegirl, for her not to have been in the school before, she was on it. Like
Yeah,
she
she
knew
was.
what
She
to
was.
do.
Because,
Yeah.
but it's because she read the books and stuff beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Before she got there, she already had knowledge on it because she'd already been reading.
But it was crazy though because they took it to the extreme. Like normally, well, I can't even say that because sometimes the subdom thing goes outside of like the bedroom, but
Mhm.
they took that like literally. So it was everything Namjoon said in his class. They needed to be obedient to. If he said face front and then he made a loud sound, you were supposed to still stay face front. And people
Yeah.
were turning around looking at him, and he was like, "Y'all don't know how to listen to instructions,
Girl, all I was doing was thinking about Namjoon with that chest.
girl,
You know, he been looking real muscular lately, okay?
girl."
So that's all I was thinking about was him with that hair, come back with them glasses, like
Yes, girl.
and that chest popping, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, that's all I could think about.
Same. And so,
Mhm.
like, in their first assignment in obedience, her, along with like a couple other people, were the only people to get a sticker because they were able to be obedient. So
Right.
the thing for that was the next class they would be able to kind of be ahead of the class because they were going to be working with the dom class.
Mhm.
So
So she goes to. So what he did, he ends up telling him they're going to be working with the Dom class. So since she got her sticker, which was funny because in the store when he was like, "Oh, if you do what you're supposed to, I'll give you a sticker," and everybody was like, "A
right,
sticker? Why we want a sticker? We grown people, you know."
right.
But come to find out, that sticker meant that you could be ahead of your class,
Mm-hmm.
and you could. Wasn't it that they could get picked first?
Yeah, so they were the ones that were going to be selected first. I think they were going to be the ones that were going to be selected, period, because I think he still had to work with the other students that weren't completely obedient before letting them go with the Dom class.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was like, I want to say it was like 7 of them that
Yeah.
actually were obedient.
So when they go out of this classroom, right, they have to put that because they're in submission and obedience right now. So she has to hold her head down, like not look at the doms in the eye. I thought that was kind of sexy. I ain't gonna lie. she she had to put her head down and like not look at them in the eye and and they just had to like get picked by their part.
Mm-hmm.
The Doms had to pick them.
Mm-hmm.
And so JK picked her.
Mm-hmm.
So when JK picked her, they automatically was like, basically they can go work on their assignment. They just started off working on their assignment that day.
Mm-hmm. But so when they were talking or whatever, their first thing was for him. What was it for him to like lead her and showing her being obedient? But he didn't want to practice, and she was like freaking out because she's like, "No, we need to practice." And he's pretty. Which side note, JK is also a first year student. So he's like, "No, we don't need to practice. We're just gonna wing it." And she's like, "What?" So she runs to Jim and is like, "Oh my god, I hate this guy. He's the absolute worst." Blah 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 blah
He's such
blah.
a jerk.
Yeah. And she tells him his name, and he's like, "Oh." And she's like, "Oh, do you know him?"
And then but then Jimmy told her, but he right with everything he's saying. You should listen to him.
Mm-hmm. So they are working. I think her and JK are working on something in her room, and like Jim and her are working on something in her room, and JK comes by and is like praising Jim and, "Oh, you're the top of your class, you're this, you're that, all this other stuff." And Jimin's like, "Oh, I you aspire to be like me," or something like that. And he's like, "Oh, don't get me wrong, sir. Like, yeah, you
For
cool.
real.
However, like, don't think for 1 second that I'm over here fawning over you. I'm just acknowledging the fact that I know what you are." But they're like low key kind of got like silent beef.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So Jimmy wanted to take her out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And JK had popped up on the scene by then. That's when he was saying all that to, "Oh, you supposed to be this, you supposed to be that," but then, And then he was like, "Oh yeah, we about to go to dinner." And JK was like, "Nope, no, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going with her."
Right.
And she like, "Well, hold up, why can't I go with him?"
Right.
And he like, because I'm your dom. You're not going with him. We're working together. And then I guess Jimmy kind of left.
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically like, "I have dinner with her when I want to. We'll meet again." Um,
Mm-hmm.
After that, and kind of just left it. Then JK was like, "Do not hang out with him. Don't talk to him. You're not doing nothing with him." And she like, "Why?" And then he told her because his dad.
Traffics
Oh, because
girls.
yeah, they into sex trafficking.
Yeah.
They out of all the things in the world.
Of all the things, girl, I was like, sex trafficking. What the hell?
Right. I'm not
Like,
laughing at sex trafficking because it is a real thing right now. I'm not
yeah.
laughing at it. But I'm just saying it was random because how the story plays out.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really weird. And then also a part of the thing when they were getting ready to, like, when he was in a room or whatever talking about it, she was like, "I'm gonna give you," or he told her, "I'm gonna give you a list of the things that you need to do," because she was freaking out again about the practicing thing, and he's like, "I'm gonna give you a list of things that you need to do," and she's like, "Okay." She looked at that list. It said, "If I say something, do it." That was it.
That was it. but in actuality, I'll do it, JK.
Okay, same.
Anything you tell me. Anything.
Right. Back to the sex trafficking thing with the
No,
dad.
she didn't believe him.
Yeah,
She didn't believe his story, so he was like, "Well, I'm gonna show you."
Yep.
And so isn't that when so Jimmy was supposedly what he was telling her was working with his dad
Right.
in sex trafficking.
Right.
So she didn't believe him. He was like, "Well, I'm gonna show you." So he took her to the warehouse that Jim and Dad was at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how JK set this whole story up. He had the mama playing like
Okay. Had everybody involved. I'm like, y'all, this was a team effort.
right. So Tay was in the background acting like he was a part of it, like dragging JK's mom, and she was looking like, yeah, she was looking like, what's going on? This really is sex trafficking, my God. 'Cause
Right.
he had Yugi tell her, "Is this ain't this sex trafficking basically?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's what we do."
Yeah.
So
Because Yoongi's the dad.
yeah.
And Tay works for Yoongi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then when so Tay had JK's mom and was dragging her across the thing, and she's
Right.
screaming, and the girl's looking like,
Right.
what?
So funny. But you know what? When I first started reading this book and I first read it, I was like, you need the daddy, Namjoon the teacher. Like, I can't get with this. But it fit right in, didn't it?
It did. It didn't. It wasn't weird at all. Like once you got
Mm-hmm.
through it, I was like, okay, cool. This makes
Yeah.
sense.
Right. Right.
But yeah, he introduced her and all that happened, and she was freaking out. So after that, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna be able to look at Jimin the same." Because she's like, "Jimin really brings girls here," and he's like, "Yeah."
He did all that. All that. So anyway, as they were getting ready to like leave, what happened? Something happened. They was getting ready to leave. Jimmy popped up on the scene. They was like going back to the dorm by the end.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy popped up on the scene. They kind of got into it, and they was like getting ready to scrap. And Yugi popped up, and he was like, "I'm not gonna have y'all fighting." Okay, he didn't tell the truth. This is what it really is.
Right.
So
So.
come to find out that Tay was okay. Jimmy and JK are brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy was adopted
Mm-hmm.
before JK came. So JK is his real son, is Yugi's real son. And Jimmy was adopted, but they're so close, he treats him as if like his blood, which I
Mm-hmm.
understand. And JK really just salty because his daddy is going to give the business to Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really do sex trafficking, but they do drugs.
They do drugs, and they do the drugs that kill people. So
Right, right, right.
they deal them to people all over hospitals. They said all types of people.
Yeah, the people that can't get it, cancer,
Mm-hmm.
people that can't get their drugs, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the end of that scene. So the next day is when not Jim and JK and the girl have the assignment. So she's like getting ready or whatever, and JK is like, "You need to." He pretty much tells her like, "I have something I want you to wear to our thing," and she's like, "Are you kidding me?" So he pretty much brings it out, and it's like a bodice and some drawers, like some cute underwear, like
Mhm.
lingerie, pretty much.
Beautiful lingerie.
And there's a cute picture of it in the story,
Mhm.
so there's that. And he's pretty much telling her like, you should wear this in front of in front of them all to do our thing. And she's kind of like, I don't know about that, but all
Mhm.
right. So she wears it. They go to their examination or whatever.
Mhm.
And so he pretty much just tells her what to do and where to go and all of that. And she listens to everything, and they get really, really high marks. So again, for another assignment, they're both at the top of their classes.
Yeah, but now she is automatically already starting to feel something for
Oh
JK.
yeah, she been feeling something for her, even though she like low key hated him, but she didn't.
Right, and he was so mean to her.
He really was. I mean, yeah, he really was. He picked her again or something like that, but she was like, I don't really trust him like that. And so Jimin had suggested, oh wait, or am I jumping ahead too fast?
No, no. The second time he picked her again.
Okay, and they
And
had an assignment.
it was the daddy
Oh, to Little Space.
yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So she was like, I don't really trust him like that. She's like, Little Space isn't really something I've tried to get into, but I'm not even sure I could do it with him because I don't trust him. Even though she was
Mhm.
like feeling some type of way about him, but she still didn't think, like, she didn't trust him. So she's kind of telling Jimin all this, and Jimin's like, y'all need to like go out and hang out and have a good time.
Mhm.
So they end up going to the amusement park, and they have a really, really good time at the amusement park, and they're having fun. And she's like, man, I really feel comfortable, blah, 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 blah. And so I can't remember. Did they
It was
try?
like they were getting she was getting really close to him.
Right.
So they went to the amusement park. They were getting along so well. So JK, at the strong person he is, was like, I'm about to win that for you. What
Mm-hmm.
pick your prize. And the person that was like running it was like, well, maybe you should wait to see if he gonna win, because most people don't win and think they're gonna win. He was like, Psh, pick your prize because I'm about to win.
Right. So she asked for the biggest prize that they had on there, and what he do? He win it because it was
Right.
one of those like those hammer things where you have to hit it really hard and it goes up,
Mm-hmm.
and he
And
hit it
I'm
all the way
like,
to the top.
that's so like JK. He probably really would.
Girl,
Yeah.
I saw that whole scene, lights and
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Yes. And then, so she was like, okay, well, I'm going to do the same. So she was like, pick your prize over here and I'm going to win you whatever. And this was like shooting ball or something.
Mhm.
And he was like looking at the prize and he was like, he really wanted the bunny, but he tried to be manly and pick something else. And she was like, no, you want that bunny. I seen you eyeing that bunny. Okay, he want the bunny, and so she starts shooting, and she won the bunny for him. And so they was getting really close, and then they got on the Ferris wheel,
Mhm.
and they went all the way up to the top, and they had fireworks, and they was looking at each other in the eye like a whole K drama.
Mhm.
And did they kiss?
I can't remember if they kissed or not.
I think they kissed, or was going to kiss, and then the thing started moving. I think that's how it went.
Yeah, I think they were about to kiss, and then it like moved on them or jerked on them or something like that, and they didn't.
Yeah. So then she really start getting in her feelings and she thinking he is too, right? So
Mhm.
then they go home.
Gosh.
I know, girl. So they go home or whatever. He take her back home. And that was it for the night, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, so he took her back home, but then he said something to her, and she was like, "Cause so there's multiple times where they do something, and she's like, oh, I feel all these things,' and he says something real out the way, and then she's like, he's such a jerk, cause he was like, oh, I'm just using you for the grade, like I know I gotta get top marks, you can get top marks, I know I'm good, blah blah blah," and so her feelings was hurt. And the second, I think when they went to the amusement park, I think he said something after the night was over, and she felt some type of way about it, but I can't remember what it was.
Hmm. Me neither. But I do know that he said, go in there and record what we did. So on this assignment, they had to record
Oh yeah.
what they did too. So she recorded how she felt, how because she was still trying to get into a little space. It was very hard for her to get in that little space, and so she was just kind of talking about, oh, I had such a good time with him, and I'm really starting to trust him a lot, but I'm really still not getting into this little space
Mm-hmm.
and all this stuff. And then she shut off his camera on his end. He was doing the same thing.
Because one of the parts of their assignment was that they needed to document in some way of all what they did during the time that they were trying to get into the little space. So while it was happening, the things prior to it, and that's what ended up coming out.
Right.
So now I feel like there's something happened between her and Jimin, but now I can't remember.
Well, Jimmy was really kind of liking her a little bit, but he also knew that him and JK was kind of starting to get closer. So
Mm-hmm.
he backed off a little bit, and he was helping them with their assignment. But him and the girl was friends, was
Right.
getting close as friends. But so something happened between after that where they were like walking on campus, and he was like, "Call me daddy," and all that stuff. And then when she did it, because like they were into it or something, and then he was like, "Nope, call me daddy. You need to call me daddy." Blah 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 blah. And when she did, it was something like "Please, Daddy." Like I don't remember what happened, but she had to say "Please, Daddy." And then when she did, she turned out when she seen Jimmy, and Jimmy was looking kind of sad.
Right.
So that's when Jimmy kind of just let them be. After that, and Jimmy started seeing somebody else.
Right.
So
So. Mm-hmm.
so then it kind of just got to where he was just kind of helping them, and his relationship with JK was getting better, and so yeah.
Mm-hmm. So okay. Well, I don't want to go too far
Oh,
ahead.
they no. They went back that day. After that class and stuff, they went back to her apartment and they was practicing.
Right, but she
Her getting
couldn't.
in a little space.
Yeah, she was doing something on the ground. He like set everything up, but he kind of kept ruining the mood because he would ask her like randomly, "How old do you feel?" And she's like, "What?"
Oh, I remember because she was wanting to go to sleep,
Yeah.
and he would not let her go to sleep.
Mhm.
And then he was just like, "Oh, well, maybe you should give me a kiss," and all this stuff. Jimmy had taught him all this stuff.
Right, because one of the things about JK was even though he was a dom, he wasn't like a good daddy dom when it came to littles because he wasn't very like compassionate. He didn't have that part of it as well. So he
Mm-hmm.
had the demanding and controlling part of it, but he didn't have the other part that you need to have for little space. So he had to go to Jimmy to get some kind of pointers on how he should move accordingly. While they're recording, he tells her, wait, did we already skip that part? When he was trying, oh no, we're still talking about it. Okay. So while they were trying to get him to little space, they recorded the whole thing. And he kept saying, like, call me daddy while we're doing this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, all right. Like, still kind of hesitant because she's, even though they had a really good time at the amusement park, she's still having a little bit of a hard time letting go.
Mm-hmm.
So JK for some reason had this feeling that he would be able to do it on the first try, and she's like, probably not, but all right.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of just kept trying to go through it, and it didn't happen that night, pretty much.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did happen that night because she
No,
was sleepy. Remember,
no,
and she
because
wanted.
the first time that they tried to do it, she couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Are
but
we
this
on
ain't
the
the
second
first
time,
time. We on the
girl?
second time,
My
girl.
bad. I
Remember,
done messed
because she
up.
was, yeah, because she was trying to go to sleep,
Yeah.
and he was like trying to keep her up and all this stuff, and then he basically let her go to sleep. Like she was like, "Can I please go to sleep, Daddy?" Like that type of way. So she got in a little space like that, but didn't
Mm-hmm.
even realize she had gotten into that little space.
And when she came out of it, she was so confused because she was like, I don't even, she's like, there's a block of time I can't account for.
Yeah.
So, and
So
something else that he used was a combination of her being sleepy and I think he tried to like tickle her a little bit or something like
yeah.
that got her to get there. So,
Yeah, like she was getting there, and then he asked how old she was, and it kind of made her like, "What?"
mm-hmm,
Like it kind of made her snap back, like, "What just?" You know what I mean? Like, what
mm-hmm,
just happened? Like,
mm-hmm.
so yeah.
Oh, and one of the things we forgot to mention was the second time. So when she was able to get into little space, Jimin was there first, and they ended up taking a nap together. So when JK did come, he was like, "Why are y'all in the bed together?"
Mm-hmm.
And so there, yeah. So,
I would like to be in the bed with him.
girl, just a big old fortress with all of them. Just
I know.
girl,
Okay. Okay, full switch.
girl.
Come back, full switch. We're
We
not
miss
done with
you.
you.
We miss you so much.
Okay, sorry.
So
So, what else
okay.
happened?
So after that, I'm just gonna skip a little bit, but after that, they end up having to do So they have the video footage of what they did from the amusement park, the videos that they recorded while they were in a room, all that stuff happening. So JK ends up taking it all to compile it into a video that they're gonna submit for their class. So they go to class that day, and there's this girl. I forgot her name. It starts with an M.
Maya, I think?
Maya or something like that. But anyway, she had the hots for JK, and JK was like not really pressed for her. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but she had a different partner, and they ended up going first, right? And they're, so wait, one of the things real quick before we even get to that, so the subclass goes to the dom class, they're in there, and Namjoon tells them before they even get into class, wherever your dom tells you to stand, you stand or sit, whether it's outside, whether it's on their lap, if it's on the floor, you need to obey what they say. So there are like, okay, cool. She was the only one that her dom JK had her sit on his lap, but
Yeah.
the dom that was of the Mina girl or Maya or whatever her name was had her
Mm-hmm.
go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Girl,
I was envisioning her sitting outside with a doggy with a collar on. I don't
Girl,
know why.
with them saddle eyes, like,
Yeah, yeah,
girl, that whole okay, so the scene gets crazy. So they watch their presentation. The presentation is not really good because not only could she not get into little space, but he I think she was with Kai, I think.
yeah.
And
She was a
he
cop.
yeah, he couldn't get her in there and she wasn't really cooperating or whatever. She ends up spazzing out and starts like yelling at the girl and JK and all this other stuff, blaming them for whatever was wrong or whatever. Namjoon wouldn't have that. So this is a kink school. So part of the punishment is a waiver that they have to sign that the professors are able to use whatever methods of punishment seem fit to do on them. So the
Mhm.
punishment for old girl was Namjoon fingering her.
And
But
and we know Namjoon like humiliation.
right. So as it's going, she's like, "Oh, I can take this." Blah blah blah. It's nuts. Kind of talking mess, like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." Blah blah blah. But this is not
Mhm.
only is it happening; it's happening in front of the entire class,
The entire class, the two classes.
the two classes. Correct.
And
Ooh,
he
that.
kept telling her to apologize to them.
Yep. And she wasn't gonna say it. She just kept looking at them like, "I'm not saying nothing." As he's still going,
Hmm.
and he's like, "Okay, cool." She has
And
her
he get
first.
harder and harder.
Yep, she has her first orgasm. She's like, "Oh, this is a piece of cake," and then he keeps going, and
Hmm.
she's realizing like, "Holy crap, I might have really got myself into some mess." And he keeps going, keeps going. And so at this point, she's like overly sensitive. She's really drained and all that, and she finally apologizes. So then they have her walk out, and then they have the girl and JK leave, and then they have everybody else leave because they canceled the rest of the orientations for the day.
Yeah.
So the plan is at this point to have them go the following day. So the following day happens and they finally show the video, but JK, I think he says so, tells her to watch the whole video or
Yeah.
something like that
Watch the
before
whole
making a
video.
scene. Yeah.
Hmm.
So as the video starts, it's her talking about their time together at the amusement park, and then it goes to his video clip where he's like, "Yeah, we just went to the amusement park. This was such a joke. Like, I don't really like her like that. I'm just trying to get this grade, all this other stuff."
Hmm.
And but then at the end, it's like he's like, "Yeah, I'm realizing that it's not what
Oh,
I
wait,
thought."
wait, wait, wait. So as he's saying that, she getting upset and mad.
Yeah, she's
Remember?
pissed.
She getting mad and like he like by the second time because he recorded two. She only recorded one.
Mm-hmm.
She recorded two. He recorded two, and he was just like the second. No, he recorded three. So the second time he was just like, "Oh, I still don't like her. I don't know why I'm doing this." Blah blah. Then that's when she spazzed out in front of the class. She was like, "This is bullshit. I'm leaving. I'm not dealing with this." Blah blah blah. And you know, Namjoon's like, "Sit down."
Right.
And she was like, "No, I'm not listening to this," because she in her
Mm-hmm.
feelings. She liked him by this time.
Mm-hmm.
So she left out the room. JK run after her. He was like, "Look, you being stupid. You
Mm-hmm.
about to fail this whole class just because you didn't finish watching this video." He was
Mm-hmm.
like, "All I'm gonna say," because like she was mad at him, she was cussing him out, and she was like, "All I'm gonna say is go back, watch the whole video, because I'm not trying to fail,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't need to fail. So let's go back." So he go back. He sit in his seat. She stand up at the door. So
Mm-hmm.
then they played it where they left off, and then the next scene was him saying, "Okay." So the next scene was of him saying, "Oh,
Oh,
I thought I didn't have
yeah.
these feelings. I'm actually starting to like her more than I thought I would," and
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff. Then she looking crazy because she didn't went off in front of the whole class and acted up.
But so one of the things, so after their presentation was over, because they showed the rest of the video, and then they got to the part where she got into little space, and then that was it. But one of the big problems was the fact that she acted out, and
Yep.
so they obviously had to get punishment. It wasn't as harsh as Mina Myra's was, but it was still punishment in front of the entire class.
Uh-huh.
But one of the reasons why the punishment took place was because JK should have let her know what was going to happen so that she was prepared for it, and he didn't. And she
Yeah.
should have been obedient, but she wasn't, because she wasn't prepared for what was coming, because JK didn't tell her.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So both of them at this point is getting punished. So their punishment is, which his teacher is JB, J-Bomb.
Uncle JB.
Uncle JB. I love JB. Anyway,
Same.
so JB was like, okay. Oh no, so Namjoon was like, okay, so you getting punished, and your punishment is come down to the desk, and then she went down there, and he told her basically she gonna have to get this vibrator in her, and then they made JK come down and put it inside of her.
Mm-hmm.
And so the punishment is like she couldn't say nothing, she couldn't scream, she couldn't moan, she couldn't do nothing. And every time that she made a moan sound, a little bitty piece of the
Mm-hmm.
moan sound, he put it higher up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Uncle JB, I can't help but to call him Uncle
I'm
JB.
same. I will never call him anything other than that.
Right.
Even if I saw him in person, I'll be like, "Hey, Uncle JB." He gonna be like, "Girl, I'm younger than you. Like, what's wrong with you?"
Right. What story is that? Because we telling them, and we need to reference it back to this story.
It's this remember us, remember me, remember us.
Yeah, so guys, if you don't know, go back to the episode, or maybe it's in our archive. Is it in our archive
No,
episode?
we did a whole thing on that story.
Oh,
I
did we do
thought.
it? Oh, yeah, okay. So anyway, so if
Oh,
you guys
maybe
want to
we
know,
didn't.
I think it's in our archive.
Yeah, it is in our. Okay.
Okay, guys, if you guys don't know, why we call him Uncle JB, it's in a story called Remember Me, and then there's a spinoff, Remember. So yeah, if you guys want to know, reference back to that episode. It's in our archives, or you can read the story Remember Me and Remember Us, and that's why we call him Uncle JB. He would never be JB or J Bum, which is his real name. He always says it's gonna be Uncle JB.
Yep. Yep.
So Uncle JB made him come down, and his punishment was that he had to put on like a cock ring.
Yep. But yeah.
And then not only that, she had to still sit in his lap.
Right, while the thing is vibrating, so he can feel it through that, and he's just getting hard, but he can't do nothing about it, and it's
Yeah,
hurting him.
because the harder he gets, the
The
more it
tighter.
hurts.
Yep.
Yeah, it hurts him.
Mm-hmm.
So he not really getting pleasure. He really just getting pain. She getting pleasurable pain.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so they had to sit in the class like that for a minute. They let them finish, but they had to like wait till a couple presentations to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They were suffering. So how it sound like as if she is wearing a skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, if it was me, I would be like, I don't slip that thing in. They is not gonna
Girl.
know. But anyway, yeah. What happened after that?
So they come, he tries, so them trying to leave, so he's able to take the ring off, which is great. And she doesn't have any strength left because it's been going on for a while, and she's trying to walk, but she can't walk out by herself fully. So JK tries to help her, and Namjoon's like, absolutely not. She will walk on her own.
Yeah. And like it was such a hard come, like the girl fell down on the ground.
Right. But you know what my favorite part of that whole scene was?
What?
JK says, "Come for me, baby," and she does.
Oh yes. Oh. Girl, I just melted just now. Just
Girl. Girl.
I could just hear those words, even in Korean. I'm okay.
Girl. So, yeah. So after that happens, they leave or whatever, and she sees Jim, and Jim's asking her if everything's okay because obviously he heard what happened, and she's like, "I was just so pissed, like, because he didn't tell me, blah 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 blah," and he's like, I get it, but good job on taking the punishment. As you go through your first year, your second year will be pretty easy because the punishments aren't as much.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, okay, but, and he pretty much told her, y'all were both wrong, and do better, pretty much.
Right. So they end up going basically when did they end up like just like talking it out, and then something happened. She ended up
So
giving him some head or something.
yeah, like I don't. I'm trying
Something
to.
happened. She ended up giving him some head. Then they start like talking.
Oh
Like
yeah. He apologized. She apologized, and then he apologized, and then it was weird though because I don't know how it got there. Because I thought they were out in public, but now I'm thinking that they weren't. Oh, and they had so after they apologized or whatever. Um, Wait a
like
second.
I don't think they fully was like she liked him, but he still wasn't like fully accepting that. Did we miss the part that he went to the parents' house?
No.
So I think right after that, he invited her to his parents' house for dinner, and that's when she met Taeyong and his mom and Taeyong's friend. That was a guy.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't,
who also goes to the school.
right.
I forgot his name though, but they end up getting cool. Wait, I feel like we're skipping something though because there was another assignment and he ended up choosing somebody else, but they had just
That
had the
was that was
conversation.
after. That was
Oh, okay, okay,
after.
okay,
So they went
okay.
out. They had this dinner, and then like she was talking to the guy that came with Tay about how they was in a relationship, but they wasn't in a relationship, and like she was like talking to him. She was into what he was saying. So
Mm-hmm.
all she could see next was like that. JK was like, "Well, come on, let's go," and she was like, "Well, wait, what just happened?" Because she
Right.
all into this conversation with this guy, trying to be nosy and figure out what him and Taeyong are and why
Mm-hmm.
he was there, and so he left, and then she was like, "Why we leave like that?" And but JK would never tell her why at first,
Mm-hmm.
and then um they end up being pretty good friends. Did he even tell her why? Did he even tell her why that happened? Like why he left?
Wait,
Why
why?
why JK left like that? His because Yugi had said something
Oh,
to him that she did
yeah.
not.
He ends up telling her why, but that's a little bit. I don't know if he did it right then or if it was later on.
That's what I was trying to think about.
Yeah. But they. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So she ended up becoming really good friends with Taeyong's uh significant other, whoever he was at the time,
Right.
to her. So they became really good friends, and then they went back to class
I
and
I think that
had
was
another.
after girl.
Was it?
I think so because the only reason I say that is because they hadn't confirmed that they like each other yet.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, but I mean, wait. They confirmed that they liked each other by the time they went to the family's house for dinner because the reason that it came up was when they had that class that he chose somebody else. She was with Kai, and they were trying to see who was gonna like what was gonna be the safe word because that was that class session, and she didn't use it until he got super close, and then he used it, and then J.K. was pissed, and she was like, "Why are you acting like that?" And she's like, "I didn't think you liked me." He's like, "I didn't either." Until now or something like that, and then they started talking about it, and that's when he invited her over because then they by that point they understood one another on where they were at because I don't think he would have invited her over for dinner if he wasn't liking her.
but I think he, but like I think he liked her, but like wasn't they were nothing, like they were not a couple.
Yeah, but I think that all happened after the safe word thing where he didn't pick her.
Oh, okay. Because I thought after that he had told her that the reason he didn't pick her is because he wanted to get a chance to really like her.
Dang, I'm confused.
Remember, he had said he wanted to get a chance to really like her. He didn't want to have that assignment because of that.
Yeah, I remember that, but I thought that was I got that clearly messed
And I
up.
can't even remember. I can't even remember what assignment this was.
I remember there was the assignment with the safe word, and Kai ended up picking her as his partner because JK
Mm-hmm.
picked the other girl, and she was pissed, or he was pissed. Wait,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
he
didn't
was
like that
pissed. Dang.
because it happened really fast with the her and Kai thing. That was
Mm-hmm.
really fast, and I don't even remember what happened. But then he ended up touching her or kissing her or something.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened, and she had a safe word, and she ended up saying it before it could get too hot and heated in front of class.
Mm-hmm.
And JK did not like that, and that's pretty much the end of that. They had a great,
Right.
they had a good grade, and they passed. And then that's when when JK was really telling her that he really liked her. They really wanted to be together, but he didn't want to use titles.
Right. Oh, yep. I just saw it. Yeah. So after all that happens, it looks like they go to the house. I just got to that part.
Oh, okay.
Oh
So
yeah,
this,
because Jake, because Jimin ends up inviting the girl he's talking to. Her name's Dia, I think. Invites her to come to the house too. So it's JK, Dia. I mean JK, the girl, Jimin and his girl, the mom, the dad, and I think Tay and the guy. I can't remember his name. Oh, and Namjoon was there with some girl because they were really close with Namjoon. The family was really
uh-huh.
close with Namjoon.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, girl.
I don't know
Anyway,
where to start.
I'm
I don't even know where to start.
confused. But okay, so after the dinner, they had the dinner.
Okay.
They got mad. They left.
Yeah. So he got mad. They left. And then he ends up telling. He ends up telling him. Wait. He ends up telling her what happened, and she's initially he doesn't want to talk about it. And he's like, she's like, "Don't push me away. Like, what's up?" And he's like, "My dad, um, wanted me to take over." Or wanted did he want him to take over or Jimin to take over? Oh, he wanted him to
No,
take over because
he was
Jimin didn't
not.
want to
No,
take over.
yeah, but that wasn't why they were mad. He was mad because Yugi was telling him. We are so confused with the him and her today.
Girl.
Yuki was telling him that she was too good for him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yep.
Hmm.
Okay. Dang. What? Mm.
Because of what they do.
Right.
So that's
Right.
why when they got together, he didn't really want to give it a title.
Mhm. Mhm.
So then I got the next class assignment. We're just gonna skip ahead of that.
Yeah, girl. Because what?
Yeah, so they got the next class assignment, which was my favorite BDSM, you know. So they were doing BDSM. He was so excited to do BDSM. He was so
Right.
excited. And she was so scared.
Yeah. Because okay. So let me ask you this: when you were envisioning what they were using, did you see it being something that was like hanging from a high ceiling?
Yeah, like in my head I envisioned it being hanging from the ceiling but under the bed in my head.
Wait, hanging from the ceiling under the bed?
Like above the bed, I meant.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But like hovering above the bed or like really like over
Like,
the bed.
yeah, higher than the bed.
Okay, me
Good and
too.
high.
Me too. Yeah,
Because she
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
scared. Hmm.
Yeah, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure because I was like, that's what I pictured in my head, but I wasn't sure if I was tripping.
Hmm.
So yeah, JK was really excited about this. She was terrified because she was going to be pretty high up, and she was just like, "What if I fall? What if something tragic happens and I die?" He's like, "I got you, girl. Don't trip." And she's like, "I don't
Hmm.
know if you really do got me."
Right. She was scared. And then he was just like, because by the end, JK really like started liking her for real, for real. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know what, if you don't feel comfortable with this, you know, I'm gonna let you do your little studies because she wanted to like study on it, what BDSM was. And was it BDSM or was it just a part of BDSM?
I think it was a part of BDSM.
So what was it really? Bondage. That's what it was.
Bondage, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bondage. Yeah. So she wanted to look up what bondage means. So he was like, okay, well, and she was just like, oh, no, you can stay and hang out. He was like, nope, you need to study. Figure out what it means because he was ready.
Right. He was ready to go. One of the things that happened before, which we kind of forgot to mention, is at some point after the whole thing happened with her being with the other partner and them kind of talking it out and all that other stuff, he eventually does ask her to be with him like exclusively, and then the whole BDS thing. I can't talk today. I cannot talk.
Mm-hmm.
But they end up having that conversation. So yeah.
Yeah, so by this time they are together but without titles.
Right.
No, they didn't have the boyfriend and girlfriend title
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
because
yeah.
she wanted that. And he was like, "We're not going to
Let's
use
not.
titles."
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. But
And
I know one of the things too was that they were only going to be partners with each other because he hated seeing her with another man, and she felt the same.
right,
Okay, go
so he let her study. She was like, "Well, I'm gonna take a little nap."
ahead.
She took that nap, had a whole nightmare about this bondage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole thing, but it's stupid. I don't even want to mention it, but it's
Girl.
yeah. So she had this nightmare. Okay, I'll just briefly talk about it. So she had a nightmare about Taeyong's significant other, and for some reason she seen him in the word. What was the word that he used? Anal or something?
Yeah, surprise anal.
So yeah. So in her dream, she dreamed that she was in this bondage or whatever, tied up, and then he came in the room and he was like, surprise anal, and then she was like all scared and freaked out. But then she woke up
Mm-hmm.
and JK was back there, was like, now you ready?
Right.
So JK came back, asked her was she ready, and she was like, yeah, I'm ready, but I kind of want to, because they hadn't had sex. He just had got hair from her,
Mm-hmm.
which I can't even remember why he got the head, but he got hair from her. And she was like, but this gonna be our first time, and I don't want our first time to be an assignment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just realized it was suspension that they were working on. When you
Oh
asked
yeah,
what it was specifically,
yeah,
suspension.
okay. So and he was like, well, it don't have to be like that. So then they decided that they were just gonna have sex regularly.
Right.
So they had sex, and it was some good sex too. This was the only good sweat.
Right.
So they had some good sex or whatever, and then JK told her he loved her,
Mm-hmm.
and she said it back. It was so
Mm-hmm.
sweet.
It
It
was
was
really
so sweet.
sweet.
So that's when they just kind of start telling each other they love them, and after that, after they had sex like that, then they did bondage or
The
whatever you
suspension.
call
Yeah, yeah,
it. Yeah, after that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I don't really remember what happened after that.
Well, then after this part, the books start getting kind of spotty, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't really remember. I know there's a point where um his dad, okay, now I remember. So his dad got arrested, and the family business had stuff they needed to get taken care of, and so I guess Jimin was like running around taking care of stuff, but JK also had to do stuff,
For
but
his
then
mom.
for his mom. But then come to find out from I think Jimin
Hmm.
that the dad had gotten out of jail at a point because he was doing this for a while, and apparently the dad had gotten out of jail like the same day, and he was just doing stuff and didn't know or something like that. I can't.
It was really weird.
Yeah, it got kind of strange.
Yeah, because Jimmy came to the school and he was like, "Have you seen JK?" And she was
Yeah.
like, "He's with your mama doing this," and he was like, "My daddy out of jail, so I don't know
Mhm.
why he's doing this." And
Mhm.
so they on their way to like go find him. She in the car with Jimmy. She called JK. JK told her he cool, and he knew that his daddy was out, and he'll explain everything tonight, later on tonight, and just to go back home. And she was like, nope, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to find you, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, trust me. Do you trust me? And she was like, yeah, I trust you. He was like, so go back home. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah. I was reading. I was like, yes, Daddy, I'll go back home. Okay. Anyway, so then she said, okay, so Jimmy took her back home. JK came over later on that night, told her
Mm-hmm.
what was really happening, which was really weird. Like, go ahead, girl.
Yeah, no, well, I was just gonna say I was just confused about it because I was just like, I don't, I don't, I don't know. It got
So
weird.
how it wasn't written in the story was like he knew he was out, but Jimin kind of didn't want the responsibility anymore, and he had to have the responsibility, and he couldn't tell his dad no.
Right.
And she was like, no, you could tell him no, you don't have to do it.
Like you're grown. You're
He,
grown.
yeah,
You could
you
choose
ain't
your
got
own
it
plan. Mm-hmm.
right. And then that was just kind of where that ended. That died out.
Yeah,
That
it
died
got.
all the way out.
Yeah, he told her all the details of it, and then that was literally that. And then it was kind of like a oh, that's what it was too. He said his dad wants him to take over, and after he finishes his schooling here, he wants him to run the business, and after they graduate that they couldn't be together anymore.
Yeah.
And she was like, no.
Yeah.
We're not doing
And
any
he
of
was like,
that.
I'm not finna bring you in this lifestyle. I'm not finna lose you.
Mm-hmm.
So we just gonna have to break up.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Didn't didn't they have sex after that? And then he ain't used no condom.
Mm-hmm. And then I think they had one more assignment after that, and
Mm-mm. They had sex after that. They ain't used no condom, which I don't know how she just didn't know they ain't used no condom until after. But they ain't used no condom. Then she was like, JK, we didn't use no condom, remember?
mm-hmm.
And then it went on, and she ended up not having her period. Then he took her to the doctor, and she wasn't pregnant. But then they had to find out why she wasn't having that period. And they ran some tests, and like he was all worried, but she wasn't worried at all. And then that was it for that scene. And then they went back to like they had one more assignment that
Mm-hmm.
they didn't even that they didn't even finish
Mm-mm.
because they had another assignment, and before that they could like go do the test for the assignment, um the doctor called
Mm-hmm.
and wanted her to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So JK was all worried about her, like something was going on. Because if you guys ever had anything happen, that you know that the doctor will call you, they won't tell you stuff over the phone.
They sure won't, and that be making me
That is
so
so
mad.
stupid.
You'll drive
Yeah.
all the way to see the doctor for them to be like, everything was fine. You could have texted me that. Like, what do you
Exactly.
mean? Got me freaking
Exactly.
panicking.
Mm-hmm.
I could have died on the way over here because I was worried. You should have just texted me
Right.
this. Ooh,
For
that be making me
real.
so mad.
So the doctor basically told her with nothing wrong with her. What was wrong? Wasn't it something?
It was
It was
something
something.
like iron or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something
that's what it
random.
was. Her iron was low, and she
Yeah.
needed to take iron pills. JK was all worried about her,
Mm-hmm.
and so they missed their whole assignment because of that.
Right, and they had to go back to Namjoon and ask about what they could do in order to make it up, and they had to do something different for it. But he said there was going to be points marked off, but they were like, "Cool, we'll do whatever we got to do." I think she had to write. I think she had to write like a 10 page,
She had to write 10 pages. He had to write 100 words.
100 words.
He was like, I think 100 words is okay, isn't it?
Right. I'm like, dang.
But with the submission and Dom class, like they just do things kind of different, and that's why he only had to do 100 words versus her 10 pages.
Mm-hmm.
But she went mad because she had half of that already written anyway,
Right.
and so they pretty much what what happened, D?
After
That,
that, I don't really. I think that
oh,
was kind of
they were the school year was over.
yeah. So and then that was kind of like there was stuff that happened during the rest of that time, but there wasn't much.
Nothing important.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the end of the story.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that
So
was it.
the story. Okay, well, anyway, we'll get to that. How did you feel about the story?
Okay. First of all, I think the story was good. However, For the name to be Kink School, it should have had way more smut than 2 scenes. Way, way more. And it did not. And I also felt like it could have dipped into so much more. This where his dad could have went somewhere, but it didn't. It just died down. So we don't even know what happened after that. Um, they was separated from each other, and we don't know what happened after that during the summer. Nothing. We don't know if they talked through the summer. We don't know because that was the end of the book. So I felt like the story just ended so briefly, as if the author was like, "Let me hurry up and write this and finish the story," because people want to know it. Because on Wattpad, when they update, people want to know what happened next. What happened next? So a lot of the writers just kind of write stuff because people are pressuring them. Kind of like, what happened next? What happened next? And I ain't gonna lie, I've been one of them people before. I have. But just like I'm trying to wait for Diva to write her book, so
I'll get it out, girl.
I'm one of them people. So, but other than that, I did think it was good. I just thought it could have been a whole lot more.
Yeah, I agree with you because I felt like for the title of the story, it was going to be so much so much more wild, a little bit more wild than it was. Like that's what I got from the title, and it started to get on that path, and then it was just kind of like it just stopped where there wasn't much more explanation as to what happened with like the relationship, what happens with them after school, the thing with the dad. Like I have so many questions about the story. I like the story, but I had so many questions, and I agree with you. Like it could have had way more smut in it. Like I think it was a missed opportunity, low key. You know what I mean? But the story was really good, and it could have gone so many places.
Yeah,
but it was. I like the story. It was
but
good. I was entertained.
It needed a part 2.
Yeah, it definitely needed a part 2. As I was reading it, I thought, oh, maybe we'll get some more because it looked like at the end of the story, the author was going to maybe include a sequel or do something else. But I just don't think I went to go look at her stuff or their stuff because I'm not sure if it's him or her, but it doesn't look like they were going to do anything else with it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was Kink School.
Oh, just kidding. They decided not to do a sequel. Just kidding. But yeah, that was Kink School. Thanks for joining us for another episode. You guys can follow us on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You can email us at doyoureadbts@yahoo.com. You can still send those recommendations. Do you want to make the announcement now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we will be starting a YouTube channel. Some of it will also go on our TikTok as well, where we'll be doing one-shots and short stories visually so that you all can see. So we're excited about that. We're going to get that going. We'll get that started. The first episode is expected to drop on October 1st. So we will have that up and running. The YouTube channel will be Do You Read BTS. It is not up as of yet, but it will be up soon, and you guys will be able to go there, subscribe, and all that good stuff. So we just wanted to let you guys know that is something new that we will be having. Yep. So thanks again for joining us. Everybody have a good one. Bye.
Bye.